Hey trackies, welcome back to another video. Please remember to smash that subscribe button, hit the like button as well. That's how the video gets to the YouTube algorithm. Share the video if you care. I hope you care, so share. And yes, please sound off in the comments below because this one is even more spicy. So let's get into the women's 4x100 meters. As y'all should already know, Jamaica is already qualified for the World Championships, but nothing beats more practice. I saw again, and I did highlight this as well, where the agent for Ryan Ford was questioning whether or not we needed to even have, a women's 4x1, 100-meter team competing. And I said, hell yes, we do. Hell yes, we do. And you know what? That 4x100-meter race today highlighted exactly why we need it. Exactly why we need it. Because not only is there an issue of practice, especially on the female side, but there's also an issue when it relates to who to put on what leg or where to put the athletes, on, the legs, right? So I think there's really struggling, and the setup today kind of highlighted that for me as well, that they're really struggling with, how to set up the women's 4x100 meters. No, I have to say, one step forward. One step absolutely forward, because guess what? Shericka Jackson was on start. I was like, who said what, where, when, how? Huh? Shericka? Shericka Jackson was on start? I was like, hallelujah, hallelujah. It's so weird. For months, I've been having, discussions, on the back end, with a few persons, and I've been saying, hey, Shericka Jackson has no other place on this, really, as far as I'm concerned, given what we're looking at, the athletes that we have to work with, other than start, literally other than start. And I told y'all that I've been waiting to see, what happens at this London Diamond League, because I have a few thoughts as relates to how to structure the relays going forward. But yeah, as far as I was concerned, Shericka had no other place but start, because, over the years I've been contemplating the actual, third leg, given, those years we had, a pretty solid Brianna Williams on start. So, I was thinking about Shericka potentially on third for those particular years. But in the current times that we're in, and, the athletes that we're working with, I was like, hey, Shericka, no, I have no other place as far as I'm concerned other than start. And voila! Shericka Jackson's on start. Jackies, we moved mountains. I can't believe that we could afford to, or get, the head coach, Paul Francis, to move Shericka Jackson from the anchor leg. That's absolutely crazy. So I think that this is them, trying to assimilate Shericka Jackson into that position, and again, working the other athletes, around that setup, heading into the World Championships. And I'll get more into that. But the outcome of the actual race, damn, listen, Great Britain, niam we up. They ate our food. Great Britain took the win, running a world leading time, 41.69 seconds. Absolutely crazy performance from Great Britain. Jamaica was second, and we ran a 42.50 seconds. Pretty distant second, I would say, in this women's 4x100 meters. Interestingly, before I jump into Jamaica and their setup some more, interestingly, going into this actual race, I was having a discussion with someone, and we were talking about how Great Britain should potentially set up the relay, and I was told that Amy Hunt typically runs on third, and I said, if Great Britain is smart, they put Amy Hunt on second. And let me tell you something. When I saw her in second, I said, job well done. That's exactly where she should have been. Not only, has she proved, herself this season running really red. And I could have sworn I saw her, on backstretch at the World Relays. But anyway, as I said, I was having this conversation and they were telling me that, hey, she runs on actual third. But me, I say, yo, based on what I'm seeing from Amy Hunt this season, try take her and put her up on backstretch, because she's going to do some destruction there for Team GB. And that is exactly what she did. Dina Asher-Smith ran a really, fantastic first leg. She's typically, known for her really good legs, and they've put her on, the start as the fastest athlete to kind of give them that boost. And she did that. Amy Hunt just, blew away our second leg into their third leg, which pretty much maintained that as far as I'm concerned. And then Daryl Nita just kind of, just ended the whole thing as far as I'm concerned. But really strong legs for Dina, Amy Hunt, Desiree Henry, and also Daryl Nita. I do think that these athletes also get a lot of practice, because I was looking at the change between Amy Hunt and Dina Asher-Smith. It looked really smooth, really seamless. She looked like she just grabbed it and went, you know what I mean? And that's really what you want in a women's 4x, or in a just relay full stop. You want the passes to be seamless. So yeah, I thought this was a fantastic run by Great Britain, and it kind of just, shows a lot of holes, a lot of potholes in a Jamaica's, team, and they had to fix it. They have to fix it before the actual World Championships. Now, granted, right, I appreciate seeing them again, giving other athletes opportunities. Brianna Williams was here, she was on anchor, she just had to finish up, pretty much what was, going on earlier on in the race. But Shericka Jackson, as I said, I believe this is where she should be, on the relays going forward. So I'm not mad at that first leg. I was kind of wondering why they put Janelle Smith on second and Tina on third, given that Tina has run, second her whole life. And yes, I've seen her run, the third leg at the world relays. But come on, there's no way in hell anybody's thinking, plausibly to keep Tina on the actual, third leg for the actual world championships. And dear God, if I do not think, but I'm telling you right now, stop it, stop it, stop it. We're not putting Tina on the third leg right now. My thought process when I think about Tina and Shelly, because I'm thinking of Tina, Shelly, and also Janelle. Possibly those are the four: Shericka, Tina, Janelle, Shelly, right? If those are the four that are going to be used in the main team, it should be something like this: Shericka, Shelly, Janelle, Tina, right? That's possibly, something that I'm looking at. Or you could invert Shelly and Tina, because this is one of the times where I'll probably be okay with inverting Shelly with Tina. But problem is, I still don't like Tina in the middle of a relay. I think there's too much delays in terms of her receiving the baton and going. You know what I mean? So I'd probably just stick her on anchor, to be fair, and just let her run free. You know what I mean? And then have Shelly make sure that pass between second and third, like what we saw from Amy Hunt, is seamless. That's what I need Shelly for. That experience, I need her there, for that. But as I said, it's interchangeable if we can get Tina to be working properly with the baton exchange. You know what I mean? But, overall, the team tried their best with what they had. Shericka Jackson did lose, ground to Adina Asher Smith. So Shericka has to know, say, look here, she dip on the first, she just have to go gear all. Because as I pointed out, if you're not winning, there's no glory, right? So all of the people are probably looking at anchor leg and going, oh, they want to run anchor. And I'm talking about the main athletes. If you're not winning, there's no glory to be had on the anchor leg. So I think that, the athletes that are competing, regardless of whatever leg you're on, give it your all, just run your heart out. And at the end of the day, we'll see the result, but other than her just, losing out, I thought to Dina Asher Smith, I thought her leg was the strongest, given what I saw. I didn't really like what I saw from Tina. She looked kind of slow and like she got into her running too late. I didn't really like that. I'm not sure what happened. Maybe it's the angle that I'm looking at, because again, I'm looking at an angle that's in the stands, right? So I'm not sure if this angle is, perfect for, me, breaking down what I saw, but I'm just explaining that. Didn't really like what I saw from Tina's leg. Didn't look like she got into it really quickly. And with a relay, you have to get going as quickly as possible. Brianna, souped up that baton and went, right? But she's not in the greatest of shape when we compare her, to like a Tina. So, she did what she could do, on the leg, as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, that's what happened in this women's 4x1. A lot of work needs to be had, or at least done. A lot of thought has to go into as well the structure, because it may just feel like everybody confused at this point. I feel like there's a lot of confusion with setting up this women's 4x1, and we have to get it right before the World Championships, because if this is, any kind of signal of intent by Great Britain, they're letting you know that they're here, they're hungry, and they're no longer going to be playing, third, right, to Jamaica and USA. They want to make sure that they're up there, in terms of, getting, on to the podium in a higher rank, probably silver, probably gold, you never know. But as things stand right now, they're looking much better than Team Jamaica, and we got to get it together. We definitely have to get it together. And I'm not saying that, Jamaica has always medal. Clearly, in 2024, we didn't medal. I get that, but I'm just saying, from a general perspective, based on our history, it's pretty much always USA/Jamaica kind of trading places. You know what I mean? So Great Britain looks really, really good. Really, really good. Loved what I saw from them. And this is their A team, I would say. I definitely think this is their A team. So yeah, if, all bodes well, these athletes will also be faster by the time we get to the World Championships. So Great Britain could possibly be looking to, challenge their actual national record. Not sure what that national record is, but great going from them. Congratulations, Jamaica. Work is to be done. Absolutely. Anyway, Chakis, let me know your thoughts. Like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.